No, you get a lot of people say they have the epiphany where they realize how selfish the act is of suicide. And I don't buy into that so much as from being there and doing studies on it. It's not because people want the attention or I'll show you. It's because they want some peace. And that's what I was going to do. That's the reason to hit it. And my selfish reason was not because I didn't want to put people through it. It's because I wanted to see everybody again. I wanted to see my mom and dad. I wanted to see my son and daughter. I wanted to see my friends. And when I did get done with that whole night and started this blog, I realized I could help some people if I just kept my shit together and kept telling the truth.
So the book, The Thawing Man, I haven't read it. You just gave it to me today, which, by the way, chapter 6, Go to Hell. Is that like I turned, you got a bookmark in it.
That's the chapter about the lie.
Go to hell.
Yep.
Okay, I thought you were telling me something like.
No, I wrote that in the.
If we call me
very
Chow,
front.
go to hell.
Well, naming your son after me is pretty cool.
Oh well,
it's a girl,
Grandpa Chow.
Yeah, it started off. The book started off as a blog, and I'm not a writer, never was, and I was always the math and science guy. Mm-hmm. But I started writing the story because eventually I had to get to the lie. And it was already out, and it wasn't my side of it, but the lie is the lie. So that part was easy to deal with because the other stuff was extraneous. The blog gave me an out to, write it down and think about what I've done, think about the thoughts, and kind of go through and say, okay, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm feeling. And I had a pretty good social media following, and people started to follow. And, hey, congratulations, good for you for getting into recovery. That's great. Didn't know you had a problem. So you're getting this positive reinforcement, but at the same time, you're working closer to that lie. So you're in AA. Congratulations. Yeah, maybe I can stretch this out for a while. Yeah, you had to face it. And at that point, I had just posted all my stuff on my book page. And that was called How Drinking Saved My Life, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I got to the lie, and I asked one of my friends, I'm like, do I put this on my main page where everybody can see it? She said, yep, rip the Band-Aid off, just do it. And I can remember just sitting there, I'm like, if I was ever going to drink, that would have been the day. And I didn't. And I pushed the button, and I sat there, and then you start hearing your phone ding, and you start looking at the screen, and we had almost 4,000 hits that day on that blog post, and every single comment was positive. Everybody wanted you to succeed. And that's when Dad told me, good people want good people to succeed. Mm-hmm. And that is a huge quote that I will never forget.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And that explains a lot about the recovery community, too. Like us locking eyes and being drawn to each other, because we recognize it, and you're doing good things, and we're trying to do good things, and it's just your path, except it's a book, but the blog, and I mean, all that is very similar, to how we're doing things and going about things. And, we shared during lunch, when people will write from Florida and say, hey, I just read your book 2 days, I'm 2 days clean. Any advice? And you're like, yeah, go to AA, get out and do some things. But it's those kind of things that pop up out of the blue when you might not be having a good day, but boom, there it is. I'll get an email and it'll say, bam, listen, the guy in St. Louis, Kevin, sent an email yesterday and was like, hey, I was listening to, I think, the 20th of August or something, about 27 mark. Was there a dude snoring in the background? And I was like, yeah, there sure was. And he was like, man, I laughed. And he was like, once you hear it, you can't unhear it. He's like, it's all I kept hearing is, and you and Ryan going back and forth. And, so that's the things that, I was like, okay, but it was cool that he thought enough about that to go, you know what, that's pretty funny. I'm going to, send him a message in those times where it's like, oh, man, that podcast sucked. It was horrible. And I had 2 ex-girlfriends reach out to me today, and it was kind of weird. I was like, okay. And then one was like, oh, you sound so sad in your podcast, but happy at the same time. And I was like, we're always indecisive. Like, make up your mind. Do my story sound sad? Do I sound happy? Like, yeah, no, I wish not. But anyway, it was good times though. But sorry, I'm thinking about my exes.
No, you're good. I just want to know which one my namesake is with. That's the most important to me.
Oh,
maybe not to you.
So you want to meet him first?
Kinda.
Okay, ladies, stop sending me pictures, naked pictures. I'm tired of that. I'm not living that life anymore. But if you want to send them to Derek,
no.
I mean,
we're good.
Yeah, if you want to get an application just go to Derek. He'll get you pre-qualified. Maybe we can go on a date.
We took this off the wrong rack.
Yeah, no, this is how things go, man.
I see. These podcasts are harder than I thought.
Have you heard the ones with the little people?
No.
I call them little people now. They like that, apparently. Oh. But no, I was talking about we need to get a van, and we can go and scoop them up. And then I was talking about how easy it would be, because on the van we could just paint like a pot of gold, and then play like little people music. And then it was brought to my attention, well, what is little people music? And I was like, I don't know, stuff with flutes or something.
Yeah, we're in deep trouble now.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff that when I apply for grants, and MRE's like, we're going to need to approve your podcast. And I'm like, no.
I'm holding on to
How
this
about
mouse.
You just give me that $600 and we can file for that 501c3. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for your permission to talk about stuff, and because it is what it is, man. And I think people kind of like that too. And
yeah, that's what recovery is being able to speak your mind and be polite about it if you can. And if you can't, you can't. But we're one of the most accepting groups I've ever been a part of. A gal I was seeing, she's still one of my dear friends, came to an AA meeting. I hosted it's a New Year's Eve party, and I had a 2-hour block, and that was my job, and we did a meeting, and she was sitting next to me, and she's not an alcoholic. She doesn't have any issues like that, but she came to support me, and she started crying at the end of it, because I remember, all right, what topic do you girls, ladies, men want to pick? And the one lady piped up, I want to talk about resentments. Shit, it's New Year's Eve, and you pick resentments. We'll figure out how to get through this. And we did. It was great. It turned out fine. But my girl was sitting next to me, and she started crying. She's like, this is what church is supposed to be. You guys are so open and accepting and caring, and all you do is support each other unconditionally, and I need that out of church, and it's not fair. I'm like, you can come here anytime you want.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most incredible communities. Everybody has a handout to help, and if you need something, it's there. It might not be monetary or anything like that, but if you need some help, people are always there to do it, and I love that.
Now, do you ever, because this is kind of my thing recently, where people like, hey, love the podcast, love that. And I'm like, are they just saying that? Like the kid who sucks at baseball, and you're like, get out there, you did a good job, boy, get out, yeah. I mean, I wonder sometimes, are people just saying that because they're like, hey, he's not drinking, let's tell him he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I like it. I don't care.
No, you like
if it's just whatever they want to say it. Oh, I love your book. Thank you, because I'm not drinking.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Either side of that coin. If they say that is a piece of garbage, yeah, it is. That's really wonderful. Oh, it's probably closer to garbage than wonderful, but if it reaches somebody, that's cool. Your podcast, I mean, I listened to a couple and I'm like, yeah, I like these. They're entertaining, and you get some good stuff out of them, like the one about not knowing how people are going to react.
Mm-hmm.
That's key. You don't know how people are going to react. It's not in your control.
No.
You can't worry about it. You just have to be you. And I dig that out of your stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'll be listening to these.
Oh, nice. Are you just saying that now because I'm the little kid who sucks at baseball?
No, it's because you let me be on a podcast. After this, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm going to say whatever I can. How many more minutes we got?
Yeah. We almost done?
No.
Why don't you tell me some of your stories? See how that feel?
Are you going to grill me like I grilled you?
No, I'm not that mean.
No, my story is pretty simple. I was cool. Now I'm even cooler.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, no. No, I'll tell my story, though, on the 15th of December, because that's my year, and why not?
Yeah.
Pick a date, and that way I'm prepared for it mentally. Like shared with you, I had to speak at, Bear River is this place I went to treatment at, and there's no way I was speaking there ever. But then when I was there, it was the people that I was speaking for. It wasn't for Bear River. It wasn't for anybody who works at Bear River. It was for the people that were sitting out there just like I was, who maybe need to hear something. And I think I got to practice 30 minutes of comedy. So that wasn't too bad. Maybe I could be a comedian. I don't know. Just make sure I'm in a room full of people who can't leave.
That makes it a lot funnier.
Yeah. Like, what you guys do today?
Yeah, nothing fun.
You guys want to talk about resentments?
Yeah. No, I think it's cool that you're doing this because the more people we have like you guys, the better. That willingness to help and reach out is so key. And, you get into, I've been in business all my life, and my parents, mom and dad both, you give back. You give back and you help whoever needs help, and that's been a practice. That's just been built in. But this recovery community, it's automatic, and you guys have it. Just to see, this is what I'm giving you. These podcasts are important. People are going to hear this. Your speaking was important. Somebody in that audience, I don't know how many, I don't know the numbers. Nobody will ever know that. You can't measure it. But if you keep putting out the good stuff, you're helping people, and that's worth its weight in gold.
And some people feel, too, and, man, I love our boys in Detroit. The guys over there in the recovery community, they were just at the ambassador training. We're like, yeah, we're in recovery. That don't mean we ain't getting paid. I was like, wait, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And, they're not making millions or anything, but he's like, oh, look, doctors getting paid, therapists getting paid. Well, we're supposed to help people for free?
Right.
Like, yeah, we like helping people, but it's a full-time job. And if it is, then, if you're a recovery coach, you should be getting paid for it.
Yeah.
We're not just hanging out, drinking coffee. There's a lot of things that you have to do and a lot of people that need your help. And you get called all times of the night and messages, and it is a job. It's a full-time job. And it's not one that you can just be like, let me turn my ringer off. It's like one of the people we met at the Rethinking Addiction was downstairs, and he was like, well, how do people get to treatment? They'll just call 211. And I laughed. No. No, you don't. It sounds good. He's like, well, I'll talk to them. They said they're doing that. I'm like, well, good luck. Why don't you try it? Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe I will. And he kind of swooped up a little bit, and I was like, all right, man.
Did you sense any resentments in that guy?
No, I sensed like he was in the medical field. Oh. And this is what I was told it does, and this is how it works, and blah, blah, blah. So that's how it does, and that's how it works. It's like, yeah, people in jail get nice rooms where they can detox, and they get all the medicine they need.
Yeah. Not so much.
Yeah, that's funny. No, it doesn't work that way. You just get thrown into a jail and you cell, and there you go. Mm-hmm. Are you detoxing? They don't care. You poop yourself. Until you get into crazy seizure mode, then they halfway care.
Right.
There's no. Jail's not for people who have a substance use disorder. That's just stupid. But anyway, this guy, we could go talk about that all day. But this guy, though, he was shocked by it. 2-in-1 didn't work that way, and like, I've never had it work that way for me. You can go ahead and try it, and he didn't like that. So then he asked, well, what do people do? Can't they just, call, I can't remember what he said, but I was like, no, you can call, like up here it would be NMRE. I was like, where I'm from, downstate, it would be SWMBA, Southwest Michigan Behavioral Health. You have to call them. Like, so if I'm like, you know what, I have a problem, and I think I'm going to stop drinking. I need some help. Or, maybe you're like, hey, I just took my last pills and I'm done and I'm over it. Let's give me that phone. And then it's Saturday. Never mind. I'll have to wait till Monday when they're open. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And that's kind of a problem.
That's not when we make our decisions.
No. And it's such a small window for people to get the help they want. And when they're accepting it and willing, I'll wait till Monday then. Yeah, that's just great.
Yeah, no, I'll be fine.
I know where my medicine's at. I'm going to go get some more.
Right.
And that's what people do. And that is the hard part of it. I said, well, you can go to the hospital. Mm-hmm, you can. For a minute. Mm-hmm. And they'll kick you out.
Yeah.
Unless you know how to play the game. And it is a game, and you have to play it. And I hate to say this, but I've said it many times in a hospital, yeah, I was thinking about killing myself because I knew